Hey guys, it's Tracy from Country Charm by Tracy, and today I want to share with you how I created this burlap sunflower wreath. Now, this is my version, this is my take on it. Last year, the past couple of years, sunflower wreaths kind of in this style were floating around Pinterest and Facebook and all of that stuff. So I finally found some stuff that I felt that I could work with and to create this, so I want to show you how I did that. So I just think that it just really turns out really cute and just a great decoration for your summer door. Okay, these are the supplies that I'm using. I am using yellow burlap. I got this. This is 15 feet and it's 5.5 inches wide. And I picked these up at Walmart. This is 2016. And then instead of buying rolls of brown burlap, I just purchased a yard of brown burlap, and I'm going to cut strips, and I will show you how I'm going to put it all together. Okay, I have a roll of yellow burlap, and I'm just going to cut them into like 5-inch strips, like little squares. I'm not really being too precise. I'm just going to go ahead and cut them. A rotary cutter works the best for this. Just make sure you use a mat so that you don't cut your table. I found this trick that if I put Mod Podge on the cut edges of the burlap ribbon, it does not fray and it works beautifully. These are some of the other things that I'm going to be using. This is a work wreath, wire wreath. And I'm going to cut, this is just a plastic paper plate that I picked up a long time ago. I just had a big old stack of them. And because I need something to put my brown part of my sunflower, so I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. So I'm just going to cut this circle, and then I'm going to adhere it to the wire wreath just with this green wire. Okay, this does not exactly fit snug to the inner wire, so it's really okay, because once I put some little holes in it and adhere the little wire, it's going to be just fine. I'm just putting some random holes every, I don't know, 2.5 inches. And then I have this wire wreath, and I'm just going to cut probably about a 2.5 inch piece of, it doesn't even need to be that big, a 2-inch piece of wire, because I'm going to attach this, and I did this first because wait, let me show like this. I'm going to attach the wire to my green wire to the work wreath, and I'm just going to give it a little twist so that it stays on there. and then I'll come back and I will put these on there. So it just kind of attaches to it. I have my little plastic piece of, this is just cut from a paper plate, but if you have a bigger piece of acetate or something, you know, something that you can attach to it, so that this right here is where my brown burlap is going to be glued. Okay, I have all of my strips of burlap dried. They're dried. I have Mod Podge on both of the cut edges, and as you can see in this one, this is the one that I finished. You do not have, or I do not have a lot of frayed edges. I may have some here and there, but it cuts down on the frayed edges tremendously. Works great. Okay, so depending on the size of the squares that you do, if you do between 4 and 5 inches, one roll I got 24 pieces, these pieces, and one I got 27. So I guess I cut these a little shorter, but you know, you can kind of play it by ear. This is how I store my chenille stems. I just cut them into like 2.5 or 3 inch. I get out of the link, I get 3 sections, and I just store them individual colors. It's just individual little bins in here, and this just works really good for me. I can just pull it as I need it. I got this from the Goodwill, this little bin, so always be on the lookout for that. Okay. So what works best on the first one that I did is to put my yellow on before I put my brown. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I have like the square, and I'm just going to pinch it in the center where it kind of makes it oblong like that, where it looks like little petals. Let me show you again. Okay, I'm not taking it like this. I'm not doing it like that. I'm taking it on the corners, and I'm bunching the opposite corners together. Just like that. And then I take a chenille stem, and I am just going to tie it directly on this wire wreath. I'm not planning to put any other petals on here, so I'm just going to close that chenille stem. Now, what I found best is to kind of alternate them, and you alternate the petals. So like I put this one on the inner ring, and so then this one I'll put on the middle ring. But you can do whatever feels right to you. And I know it takes just a little practice to kind of hold the petal and hold the wire and the chenille stem. I say that humbly. It takes just a little practice to be able to do all that. And I get this one quite tight enough. It just kind of felt a little loose. And I'm just kind of tucking those edges of that chenille stem in there. This wire is catching on that petal. Okay, so then this one I'm just going to bring on the outer two wires, just pulling it snug and twisting. And it doesn't look like much now, but as you start layering all of your petals on there, then your sunflower will come to life. Okay, I wanted to show you, this is one roll of the yellow burlap. So depending on how closely you put your little petals together will depend on how much burlap you're going to need. But this right here is one roll with the strips cut in about 5 inches, and I put Mod Podge on the cut sides of the burlap so that they wouldn't fray. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some more of the yellow strips and Mod Podge them, and I'm going to finish this right here. Here is the finished wreath with just all the petals on it, and this is what I have left from a second roll of the yellow burlap. So I'm just showing you this just as an idea. If you want it a little bit tighter with more petals, you can use the entire second roll of the burlap, but it's really going to depend on your personal preference. So now I'm going to cut the strips of the brown burlap, and I'm going to put that on here. And now you can kind of see why it's better to put the plastic or whatever you want to use to have your brown burlap cling to, glue to, stick to, however you want to say it. Easier to put on at the very beginning so that you can just go ahead and put your petals on, and then you can put this on. We'll go ahead and move this back and glue this down. So let me show you how I did that. Okay, what I want to do is I want to make some little puffs that kind of give the waviness of the middle of the burlap wreath, and so I'm just going to just kind of go back and forth a few times like that. Just kind of pinch it in the center. And I just have a brown chenille stem. Just gonna cut off this one tail because I don't want that to show. And then when I glue it, I will stick several of these together so that I can make a center. Okay, so I have the center. I'm going to work on the center, and it's going to use some Aleene's tacky glue. Don't stress if you get it on the petals a little bit. It's really okay. It's going to dry clear. It's really, 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 really okay. Okay, so I'm just going to take these and just butt them up really close to each other. Here is my finished burlap sunflower wreath. I just love how it turned out. For the middle of the burlap, if I wanted to make those loops a little bit puffier, I'm just adding a little dot of hot glue and just kind of positioning them, just sticking my fingers in between all of that and just kind of puffing them out just a little bit. Anyway, I just think the Mod Podge really does help with the fraying of the sunflower petals, and I hope that you find that tip helpful to you as well. So now I'm going to finish off the back of the wreath, it's just a personal preference. So I'm just going to add, I'm just taking a piece of brown felt and I'm just going to cut it into a circle or an oval, just, you know, big enough to cover that back of that plate so that glue doesn't show, because it will dry, but it's just a personal preference. You don't have to do this. It's like I said, it's just a personal preference. So anyway, there we go. Here is my finished sunflower burlap wreath. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. If this is something that you would like to create as well, if you have any questions, just leave them below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to my channel and all of your support. And we will see you soon. God bless.